All right, we'll get started here if everybody's good. Obviously, really excited about the victory in the Sun Bowl. Really proud of our players and our program. Proud of our coaches. Was a complete team victory in every facet. We had to find a way to win in every side of the ball and overcome a lot of adversity. Still, when you look back at the tape, a lot of errors, a lot of things that that were self-imposed wounds that could have gone the other way. But I think that we did a great job of not panicking as coaches, not panicking as players, and regrouping and went forward and won a game with a lot of poise. So I'm very, very proud of this program, very proud of this team. Obviously, got to see those guys' faces after the game, the celebrations after the game, really exciting, and to get our first win of the season and get rid of that 6-game skid and just to see the look on the kids' faces. That says it all. That means it all. When you put time into it, you put the investment into it. All right, we'll get started here if everybody's good. Obviously, really excited about the victory in the Sun Bowl. Really proud of our players and our program. Proud of our coaches. Was a complete team victory in every facet. We had to find a way to win in every side of the ball and overcome a lot of adversity. Still, when you look back at the tape, a lot of errors, a lot of things that that were self-imposed wounds that could have gone the other way. But I think that we did a great job of not panicking as coaches, not panicking as players, and regrouping and went forward and won a game with a lot of poise. So I'm very, very proud of this program, very proud of this team. Obviously, got to see those guys' faces after the game, the celebrations after the game, really exciting, and to get our first win of the season and get rid of that 6-game skid and just to see the look on the kids' faces. That says it all. That means it all. When you put time into it, you put the investment into it, you put the preparation into it. I think that's what you see after the game, just all that coming out. And that was really, really fun for our players to see them just kind of cut loose and celebrate and love on one another and our coaching staff as well. So well-deserved victory, but quick week, quick turnaround, and it's time to move on to Louisiana Tech. We never give out players of the game unless we win. So this week's a little different, and we don't choose a defensive unit of the week unless we win. So that's a little different. So just want to touch on this. Well, I'll reveal this to the players later. I know they'll get it on social first, but players of the game on the Blue Blaze, Javon Jackson. Can't say enough about this guy. Not only his performance, but for him to be battling through an injury and Ezel Jolly step up and start really playing really good ball. And Javon as a captain, he's a team captain. The way he handled that was a first class act in leadership. Not wavering in that standard, and he's been called to be a captain, and he's not been called to be a captain just predicated on his production, but predicated on who he is. And so he didn't let that define him. He never changed who he was. He stayed steady in the boat, had an elite week of practice, and then he gets his opportunity in the game, and he goes off and never looks back and had an amazing game. Our offensive line played really, really physical. On the Orange Swarm, Lance Russell is our player of the game, with 9 tackles, interception, just unbelievable performance. This kid is the epitome of he plays how he practices. I've said this multiple times in practice. We do a live kickoff drill. He's the one that shows up every single week and makes a play for our death dealers. I'm so proud of him. And then Defense player of the game, Buzz Flabiano, was just automatic, man. Automatic, just love. I talked about it post game. Somebody asked me about it. From going from how the season started to just seeing a young man get better and just continue to grind. That's what this thing's about. It's not about the circumstances. It's our answer to those circumstances, and that's life and that's football. And he is epitomizing that through his play, and I'm so proud of him. Going to the unit of the week is the Steel Tigers, which again we name every our defensive units are named after the different brigades at Fort Bliss, and Steel Tigers is our field goal unit, so led by Buzz, and that they were automatic. They were iron wall up front, did a great job protecting, and Buzz put it through the uprights. Luke Laufenberg, Hustle Awards, is honored to have Babe Laufenberg here with us to witness this victory. We were honored to have him on the sideline, and the Live Like Luke fight section was awesome. The student section was awesome. Just honored to have him here, and those recipients we felt like played to the standard and played really hard. We actually had 2 on the Blue Blaze and the Orange Swarm. Really felt like this was the hardest our team played all year long. They fought, and Otis Pitts up front, South Grand Prairie product at right guard, we felt like played a very physical game. Played 70 snaps at 320 pounds and played extremely physical, leading us up front. And also Marcus Vincent, a Duncanville High School product, from Dallas, Texas, at tight end, played by far his best game of the year. Extremely physical, battling through a lot of injuries. Very, very proud of him. On the Orange Swarm, Dylan Williams and Dorian Hopkins received those honors. Obviously, both of them had great interceptions, but we thought they played extremely sound and disciplined, physical. Dorian had a big-time tackle on a jet sweep, running that thing down. We felt like his anticipation on that was unbelievable. Dylan came off the bench and gave us a spark in the back end, really was the quarterback back there, one of the highest football IQ kids that we have. And so we're really, really impressed with Dylan. We fenced Stratton Schufelt. Stratton, true freshman, has just exemplified what it means to play a fearless, fast, physical brand of football. Plays on every defensive unit and was relentless. And then I want to give a shout out last to our Devo Players of the Week. They helped us prepare for the game, did a great job. Xavier Johnson and Edgar Garcia. Xavier on the blue offense and Edgar on the orange defense. Both El Paso products. Just gave us phenomenal looks all week. And then we fenced Marcus Torres, another El Paso product, 3 for 3 from Pebble Hills there. Marcus Torres is just always giving everything he's got for this program, and all three of those guys. So very, very proud of them. Very proud of our team's performance, and now looking forward to getting ready for a really good Louisiana Tech team on the road. I'll open questions.
I guess Louisiana Tech's lost a bunch of close games. What's kind of the story you see with them?
Yeah, I think they're dangerous. I mean, the number one that we talked about as a staff this morning, I think they're a dangerous football team, meaning I think there's, you look at the NC State game. Power 5 football team, Power 4 football team, game could have easily gone the other way. They have the best defense in Conference USA. They're the number 1 rated defense, number 1 rated rush defense in the conference, and for good reason. They play a style of defense that'll be pretty unique that you guys see. You've seen a lot of teams play us this way already with the 3 high safety look to try to prevent explosive plays. These guys are going to play that 3 high safety look, and but it is what they major in. A lot of teams that we played, it's a package. For this team, this defensive coordinator, Coach Johnson, I got a lot of respect for him. I've known him when he was at Kent State, and he was at Northern Iowa and a very successful FCS coordinator, and changed the Kent State defense in 1 year. They had a coaching change. He goes back to Northern Iowa. Now he's at Louisiana Tech, changing their entire dynamic on defense. I don't just looking at stats. I don't know much about him last year. Looking at stats. Defense looked like a struggle for them last year. This year, they're the tops in the conference. So he's got them playing very confident, very fierce, and they play really physical. And so we got our work cut out for us on offense for sure. I think their quarterback, Bullock, is a really good player. He's a young freshman, but he makes really good decisions with the football. And then they got True Edwards at wide receiver. I just think they've been so close, and for whatever reason, the ball hadn't swung their way in some games, but they could easily be sitting here with one or two losses, and last week's game against New Mexico State, there was multiple times that game could have gone the way, but I think they're dangerous, and they play really well at home.
Obviously, big moment for you guys in the season on Wednesday night. Highs and lows in the football season. What's been your message to the team this week? Coming off the win, but hey, you still got to stay locked in.
Yeah. Just talk to him after the game, hey, enjoy this 24 hours, right? Yesterday's kind of, unique schedule with the short week, right? Yesterday was actually their off day. So, I got to see some of the guys. I didn't get to, see everybody. In the team meeting today is where we will really kind of dive in, show the areas where we did really well. We talk about that winning edge. There's 7 elements to winning a game for us, and we went 5 out of 7, in those. And just showing that, hey, when we win the winning edge, we're going to win the game. We have a high probability to win that football game. And so just reinforcing those messages, but also it'll be, hey, to the point, quick, and then we got to go to La Tech, really fast. But, very, very proud of the team. But we got a really good football team to prepare for, and we got to move forward.
Now that you guys got a taste of winning, right? I saw the celebration. How do you think that momentum is going to help you guys just hitting on the road and then facing La Tech?
Yeah, I think it's all mental, right? When you're going through those struggles and you're not seeing the results, right? It's every single day, it gets harder and harder to, stay true to that process, right? Because you start to think about what could go wrong instead of what could go right. And so now, that you have that kind of mental block out of your way, hey, look what happens when we truly do. This is the first game we truly play complementary football. Our defense, again, we would love to see even more of it, right? But our defense with 4 takebacks, right? And our offense able to score at least 10 points off of those turnovers. Should have scored more, no question, but scored 10 points off those, especially the last drive that we really drove it down to solidify that game. Javon punches it in. And even on that, they had 12 on the field, and we punched it in, 11 versus 12, because there was great execution on that play, and just showing, that when we play complimentary football, we're a hard team to beat. We continually have to preach execution and getting out of our own way, and I think that we did that for a majority of the game, last week, and I just think now, hey, these guys need to play clear, they play free, and hopefully, and I know they did because I know the feeling in that locker room is obviously vastly different than what it had been, right? And so when you get a taste of that and a feel for that it's like something you constantly fiend for and you want, and I expect our guys to come tonight. Tonight's our blue collar Friday practice, and I expect us to come out tonight, hungry to go get another victory.
Injury status updates to guys like Cade McConnell, AJ Odoms, and then maybe Corey Chapman.
Yeah. So starting out with Cade, I'm still kind of weighing through the details with the medical team on that. We just been schedule-wise, but it looks like he's going to be out for an extended period of time. I would anticipate probably out for the rest of the season, unfortunately. So I'll get some detailed clarity for you when I get a little more. But it looks like he's going to be out for the year, unfortunately. Upper body injury. The young man taped it, tried to do, but he's a warrior trooper. I'm super impressed how he's handled it. Him on the sideline made a vast difference. It was almost like having another coach out there, encouraging Skylar, encouraging the offense, going picking guys up that maybe had a bad play. I'm very very appreciative of his leadership. And then secondly, you mentioned Corey. Corey is going to be it's kind of a day-to-day thing. We're hoping to get him back. He's still questionable for this game. It's kind of 50-50 where we kind of see it right now. That thing could change daily. So we'll look for that. AJ Odoms still, going through with he's got a specialist for this deal. Again, you don't want to get into details because it's a non-football related thing. But the young man, we're so blessed and thankful that it's not more serious. But there is a lot of intricacies with it. I don't anticipate having him this week. We got to look and see, the procedures that need to take place, the things that need to take place, and see how that would affect his timeline. So, looking to get more of an update on that in the coming days.
Coach, you mentioned playing free. I believe 2 weeks I asked you just about, there's been some hesitation from the players on the field. Can you just speak on the progress from the previous 2 weeks that I asked you up until now?
No, it's a great question. We have a young team, but we also have, if they're juniors and seniors, the majority of these guys, this is their first, taste of starting and playing extended time at the FBS level, and whether it's a guy who transferred in or a guy who's been here, we didn't have just a ton of guys that had a ton of experience, and so what happens over the course of time, right? Those reps catch up, and you literally can see the change on film. A guy playing more confident. A great example would be Lance Russell. And I point him out. Played limited snaps last year. He comes in and on the interception, right? He's just gotten better every week. But if you look at the interception play, that formation, that alignment by the receivers is something that Coach Clark and our defensive staff did a great job talking about in breaking routes from that alignment, from that formation, from that backfield set. And you can literally see him on tape in his stance, kind of peeking the backfield set, kind of peeking the receivers, and kind of hey, man, I think this might be what's about to happen. And you literally, in the ball snapped, he takes that one step, triggers on that quarterback, and it's almost like, I thought he was going to pick six it, because he anticipated it so well. But that experience and those reps, you can see that start to catch up with our football team, and they're playing more settled football. We couldn't have started the game worse. 3 and out, pump blocked, and all of a sudden, I think, if this is game 2 or 3, I don't know that we recover. But now that, hey, we're in game 7, we're getting deeper and more experience, the guys are, hey, this is football. There's highs, there's lows. Let's go back and let's execute. And so I'm really excited to see those guys grow and mature literally before our eyes. It's been good.
You talked about the run game starting to peak the last couple of weeks, and then you come out on Wednesday night and have your best rushing performance of the season. You went with Jackson for majority of that game, and games past you've gone with Jolly. The hot hand mentality, is that really what it is at running back?
100%. We have the mentality in every position, we're going to ride the hot hand, and especially, we're a one-back offense, right? And we feel like we have 3 or 4 backs that are very capable. It's just hard, especially with the rule change of the clock continues to run after a first down. Now you see, when offenses snap the ball 80 times in a game, like now, like that's a lot. Used to a few years ago, that's like commonplace, right? And now, you snap the ball 65 to 70 times a game. That's on the higher end. You know what I mean? So you're not getting as many snaps. Games are shorter. So, there's not as much availability for snaps to go around for like someone who's in a one-back offense and they're the third, fourth guy. That's where that minor back comes into play where we can, pull maybe that third guy who's a really good player and try to get him on the field like a Cam Thomas, like those type guys, and they play in the slot and at running back, right? But to answer your question, it's always about riding the hot hand. Like the guy that's performing the best, the guy that's in the moment. We're not going to pull that guy out, and just so happy. Ezel obviously fumbled. We gave him a blow. Put Javon in because we have a good, capable back, and Javon goes off and does what he does. It's almost the same thing that happened, vice versa. But I think those two young men have handled that, at a professional level. Like Ezel, obviously disappointed that happened, but we needed to call on him late in the game too to have some key runs. And if you remember, and he had some key runs down the stretch for a young player to bounce back like that and not lose his cool, not lose his head, right, was really impressive. And that's why Ezel, we have full belief in him, full belief in Javon, and very proud of the way that those guys have played. But also it needs to be noted, like our Coach Stanchek and our offensive line every week have gotten better. And I mean, we had this is the first game that we had 4, maybe 5. I think it was 4. We had 4 guys play 70 snaps. It's the first game that we had an offensive line dang near the whole game play a complete game together. And so they're starting to callous that mind, callous that body, and especially the way that we play the game with tempo, and getting used to that. That was really good to see, and that continuity kind of took over in the fourth quarter. I think Javon rushed for 100 yards in the fourth or something like that. Yeah, I mean and that's and we've talked about this since day one. We've gotten here. We when we get into shape and we get this thing going, we will be at our best when people are at their worst, and that's when we got to take the game over up front. And they epitomized that. I was so proud of them.
When you look from the first game to now, where has the offensive line specifically made the biggest advances?
I think it goes back kind of what B was saying with I don't see as much timidity in what they're doing. I don't see any, it seems very, and I think we've done a good job as a staff, Coach Stanchek, Coach McNeil, Coach Delaney, game planning runs, getting that volume down to where it's manageable and they can go play free and fast and come off the ball. But I don't see as much hesitation. I think they're starting to settle into the system and understand what we're looking for. It's easy to go up there and talk, hey, we're going to run inside zone. Well, there's a lot of intricacies that go into that, right? We're running into a G, running into a 3, running into bear, there's so many things. You have one run play. Well, you better know, the intricacies of going that run play versus this front, that front, this front, that front. And you're asking them to do that really fast, right? I'm seeing those guys really, really communicate well, come off the ball and know exactly where they're targeted to, and being efficient with their fundamentals. Their fundamentals have gotten a lot better as well. So I just I think them not playing hesitant and playing fierce has and coming off the ball has been really good to see.
You scored 30 points on offense. Just what exactly do you still want to see improved on offense in this next game against Los Angeles?
Yeah, I mean, I think that while we scored 30, I think we left a lot of meat on the bone. I think there was a lot out there still. I will say our red zone execution was much better. I thought we were 3 for 3 in the red zone. We'd love, instead of the field goal on that last one, to be a touchdown, right, and go 21 points in the red zone. We had 17 points in the red zone, 2 touchdowns, 1 field goal. But going 3 of 3 there, obviously that was great execution. I think we had 4 3 and outs. We got to eliminate those. We had a couple drives going where we lined up in a formation wrong, or we had a right, and those things really stall our offense out. But it's good. Look, we hadn't touched 30 all year. We got to 30 points. I mean, that's a step. That's as a program, we got to look at stepping stones, right? I wish I could tell all of you, like, hey, to stand like you can ask the players. I mean, like we have. Our offensive goal is to average 40 a game. We haven't touched that yet. We're not there yet. But we're not going to waver in that standard. We're going to fight for that standard every single week, every single day. We took a massive step in the right direction on Wednesday night. And that's what this thing's about. I wish I could, poof, here it is, but that's not how a process works. That's not how the reality works. But I'm very proud of the rhythm that I saw on offense on Wednesday night. I saw not just one, in the past few games, I've seen 1 or 2 drives with that rhythm. This game, I saw 5 or 6 drives with that rhythm, and it led to 30 points. It led to more execution, and very proud of those guys. And I think it's something to build off of for this next game.
And former quarterback, what does an outing like the one Skylar had kind of do for him, being a young guy moving forward? Because I assume you'll be sticking with him the rest of the year.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, it's huge whenever you get that first win, right? But I think it's even bigger like when you feel like you helped your teammates out. Where your defense had 4 interceptions and you were able to capitalize. I think the one that got him going, that got the momentum going and in the right direction for the whole offense, but especially for him was, when we had that interception, by I think it was Dorian, and then we capitalized with he brought it all the way down, and then the quarter changed, and we come back down here, and Skylar runs it in and executes a day one install play, and executes it, and we score, and to feel the offense. Because we talk about it all the time, playing that complementary football, but we got to live it, right? And that's what they did in that moment. And for him to execute that, I think was special. But it does a lot for a young quarterback's confidence to get that first one. I expect him to have a great week of preparation. And that's going back to kind of, we talked about it yesterday. That's where it started. He was 85% all week long, and through scale, was very efficient in his walkthroughs. Was very clean, and when he's dialed in, he can operate this offense very efficiently, and that's what he did. Other than a few throws that we want back, but man, he did a great job leading us to a victory.
Sorry, go ahead, Steve.
No, you're up.
Okay, it's been 20 years since you guys picked up a win against La Tech. Just what would it mean for you guys to pick up a win on?
Yeah, I did not know that. Did you say?
At La Tech. We beat La Tech in 2021.
Oh, at La Tech.
Okay.
We haven't won at La Tech in 20 years.
It's been 20 years since we won there.
20 years since you guys picked up a win on the road.
Oh, at La Tech.
At La Tech.
Well, B, I didn't know that, and I don't appreciate that mental block that you just brought up right there. No, I'm joking. I did not know that. I played at La Tech twice. At Southern Miss both times, and it's a great environment. That program has so much tradition, right? I just think for us in general, going on the road and getting a conference win would mean a lot for this program, regardless who it's against. Just to be able to go on the road, handle the travel, handle ourselves at the hotel, and go out and execute on the road. I want to see that execution that we saw in the Sun Bowl, carry over, over to Ruston, Louisiana. But we're playing a traditional Conference USA power, old school WAC power. I mean, these guys, they're a good football team, good football program. They're one of those teams like, you can't look at their record and say like they easily could be in the front of this conference, especially when they're playing defensively right now.
Speaking of defense, your defense has kept you in every game. Did you feel almost like Wednesday night the defense played angry? Because it seemed like that was about the hardest hitting we've seen the defense all season.
Played fierce. No, Cap, you're spot on. I thought they played really fierce. I thought they played our brand of physicality. It just seemed like they had an edge about them that we were looking for. And I think our whole team came out with that type of mentality and approach, to go out and establish physicality, to go out and, we talked about all week going on the offensive and going on the attack and starting fast. And if you notice, like a little thing, we usually defer to the second half. We decided we want to receive the football, just little things like that. I know it's, the offense going out there, but still that mentality of attack, and not waiting for something to happen and reacting. Let's go on the offensive, and our defense set the tone for that the entire night.
Along those lines, Moas Moreland's been double and tripled all season long. What was it like to see him break through, get a big hit on the quarterback, and just starting to now kind of get into his rhythm a little bit?
There's no question. I think Mo has, we all know Mo's an elite player, and I think the difference is, this year he is the target. He is the guy that everybody knows. He's on everybody's board. He's the guy when the opposing offensive coordinator, the offensive line coach walk in, they're like, hey, we got to have a plan for zero. And we've seen it all year. He's been doubled. They slide the protection to him, and that's why if you notice we've moved him boundary field. Sometimes we stack him. Sometimes we put him in the box. We do. Coach Clark's done a great job of doing everything he can to try to hide him and get him one-on-ones. But it was awesome to see, him get back in his groove a little bit. That big time hit on the quarterback was something that when we saw it, when we felt it, our team, you could just feel it light our team up, but also like. You could feel him getting hot, and it's exciting watching him play. We know he's one of the best players in this conference, and that's part of being a great pass rusher. You're going to demand a double. You're going to demand wall protection your way. He's never once complained, moaned about it. He keeps fighting, and he continues to hone his craft. And I'm so excited to see how he plays down the stretch. But this is a great start in the right direction for him for sure.
How does Shea Smith's job change, and also if the game was sort of to get out of hand late, would you double think about who you put in, given, redshirt possibilities?
Yeah. I mean, for us right now, and I've told you this, the best players play, and it's all about this team. And so for sure, as of right now, Shea Smith and JP Pickles are both, repping with that 2 group, and it's kind of a week to week to see, kind of who's, performing at a high level. We have some packages for those guys. Those guys are both got to be ready to play because they're both one play away from playing. Each week, assess, which guys performing better at practice to see who would take those 2 reps. But certainly, yeah, depending on game structure, I mean, I have no problem, if those guys had to go in the game, they got to go in and get their feet wet. If it just depends on, flow of the game, what's the score, what's the situation, right? But those 2 guys certainly, they've prepared, they've worked, they're very talented, and I trust both those guys as young freshmen. I think they have a bright future ahead, and they're certainly talented enough to play, and they've done a good job executing our offense, and so they got to be ready.
Who's 2 this week?
Well, we're going to see. We're going to go through practice. Last week it was Shea. Shea, I thought, had a really good week of practice. We're going to see tonight. We'll see tomorrow. You guys play out and compete. But certainly, really excited about the future of those 2 guys.
More with true freshmen, you start Kyron Duhan this past week. I asked a lot about him, but what about Ashton Coker, who's really emerged on the scene on that D-line, who got a chance to get his first start this past week? Yeah.
I thought Ashton, Katy Taylor High School, just very strong physical player. I think that, he got a taste of, playing against a big offensive line too at times, and he could see, oh man, this is different, right? But, he held his own in there, didn't look out of place, kept working, kept grinding. He's really made some plays, and stood out in practice where we feel like, man, we got to give this guy a chance. But, Coach Jones does a great job rotating those guys, and we play a lot of D linemen to keep them fresh. Those 300-pounders, man, you gotta have a good rotation going. But I certainly think that it's like any freshman, there's glimpses of where, man, hey, here, this guy, he's turning it on, he's coming off the rock, he's playing physical. Then there's glimpses of, hey, you better get his pads down, because that's a 6'9", 300-pounder as opposed to a high school kid coming to block you, But I'm very, very pleased with his growth, his maturation. He's got the bloodline. His brother, obviously, was starting tackle at TCU and now with the Las Vegas Raiders, and Ashton is going to be a heck of a player, and it's good to see him get his feet wet and make strides for our D line right now where we need some help. But I thought guys like, man, Sione came in, made some big time plays. Vita came in, made some big time plays. Obviously, Kyron's, just his fight, and then Katie Johnson and Brighton, man, just playing like the leader he is. I thought that the D line, especially in the second half, I could really feel their presence in the run game. They played really physical.
You talked about in the past, like in the weeks leading up to the win, it was sometimes like your team had so much anticipation and want for that win. Now that you got it, just how has the mood inside the locker room changed other than the joy and elation of it?
Yeah. I think it creates a hunger for more. I think when you get a taste of that success and when you know that you put in the work, I kind of said this to him before the game, like, you shouldn't have to compensate for anything, before the game. Meaning, like, hey, you have to feel like I gotta say something, yell something, to compensate if you're prepared. And that's the thing that this team, we're always going to come out energetic, come out ready to play because, man, we got to be the most excited team to play. I mean, this game's exciting. You got to show up excited to play this game and play with passion because there's a level of emotion and passion that this game demands, right? And you got to be good at harnessing that, and that's the challenge with young players. It can't get too much, right? But it has to be on that sleeve just enough to where you go out and you're ready to play a physical game. I told them all week we got to get ready for a 4-quarter football game, and sure enough, it was. The other piece of that is knowing that I think that I could see it in pregame, I could feel it on the sideline. They put in a great week of preparation of work for that game. Everybody talks about these midweek games, and I get it. Like, there's things that you have to do, and there's things that we pull back on, but like, just hearing a lot of people, oh, it's a midweek game. Like, you guys are probably just walking through, or you guys are probably, no, we're not. Like, we're in full pads tonight, and we're practicing. Like, our team needs reps. We're going to be in shells tomorrow night, and we're going to get after it. Like, we're going to go good on good. Like, we're going to do those things. And I think our guys have embraced that, and that's what I love about this team is, even through not getting the results that they want, they're not sitting there, trying to look for, man, let's question this, let's question that. Let's keep working and find, and our edge is practicing this way. And so I've been so proud of like how hard they've been practicing, and you could feel that preparation take over on game day. It's like, hey, we're built for this. Okay, pump block, good. So what? Let's play next play. Let's go. Hey, okay, interception, good. Let's play next play. Let's go. And that type of mentality, that if we play with an edge, it gives you a chance to win every game. And so I just think the hunger, man, is kind of what I feel from them after this win. Is like, let's do it again. Let's go get some more, And that's what I'm excited to get back to work and get back on the grass tonight with them and see how they fly around.
Speaking of the midweek games, exposure-wise, did you feel it from this past week? I mean,
Yeah.
all over national television, a lot of different outlets on social media. Your quarterback goes viral on TikTok as well. So, just was the exposure pretty good?
100%. Yeah, I love the exposure. Obviously, we have a unique deal here at the Sun Bowl, where we play a Saturday game. We're gonna have a great crowd, and midweek games are kind of harder with that. But the national exposure is unbelievable, and I certainly felt that. I felt that even the past weeks. We've been, even though the outcome wasn't what we wanted, you still, you are the game on TV, right? And I think that's been awesome to get our brand out there. And certainly I saw the viral video of my quarterback. With that, I'm not really sure what to think about that. I told him, I was like, hey, your helmet got ripped off, right? I want your face to show some mean mug, let's go type deal. And my man's, back looking off in the distance, and I'm like, Skyler, what's up, man? But I love him to death. I don't even think he realized what was going on. That's the funniest part about it. And the guys have had some good laughs around the building about that. We'll just say that. So I think we started our quarterback meeting with a 15-minute discussion on it and how we could be better at that. But no, it was cool. It was a lot of fun, and it's good. It's great for our brand. It's great for our program, and how great for our kids too. A lot of fun though.
Thanks, Coach.
Cool. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Thank y'all.
Thanks, Coach.